All right. We are now over on my channel for the Fighting Out of Manchester podcast that me and our kid Brendan do here. Now he's decided that he's back in Manchester again.
For now.
And we're joined by, what's your name again, mate?
Anthony.
What do you do, mate?
Used to do a bit of boxing.
Used to do a bit of boxing, yeah.
Used to do a bit unemployed, looking for a
okay.
job.
By a former world champion, Anthony Crolla, because this is Fighting Out of Manchester, and, well, that's what you did.
I did proudly.
Look how much he's short now compared to 30 fucking years.
Stop. No, Brendan says, listen, it's a fighting city, isn't it? And proud to fight for these. Always was my career. The city got behind us, unbelievable amount. And proud fighting mank.
Word is you're getting a cage. We might have made that up.
On his toes.
No,
yeah, we
just
might have
threw it on my toes. No, listen, I always was tempted, but I'm going to have to learn. I said to Brendan a bit of jiu-jitsu for sure, but my mum, I think my mum would kill me. Like, she thinks that's the end now of me getting punched in the face. So to start taking elbows and knees, I don't know if she could take it or not. But listen, I'm just a fan, like you say. It's but I do like the sport. Do you know what I mean? I know very little about it, but I do love it, and there is always that temptation.
I'd fucking love to see you in a cage.
But it's one of them. It's hard to. Like Brendan will tell you, obviously, your striking is brilliant, but it's not always as easy as just to start landing punches. I'm guessing if he ever did get in a cage, I know I'm talking very far ahead here.
What?
I would
2 weeks. That's not that far ahead.
No, I do. But I'm pretty sure like 90% of them would think, "Oh, I'll take him down." So that's what I'd have to learn.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to turn up at Salford Wrestling, aren't you?
Listen,
fucking air guard and a singlet.
It come around because I seen a picture with Steve Campbell.
Yes, yeah.
And so obviously, it's rare that you see boxers. You was in camp at the time,
yes,
sure you were around, and you're still doing it. And that's rare to see. A lot of boxers do get ignorant to it.
Turned up at a Jets class or wrestling?
I know.
So tell us how it come about, how you wanted to do it.
Was Joe not on the phone like, oi?
It was, he was. So I had to keep it quiet, to be honest. Why
are you in someone's pyjamas?
But it's, it was my mate, and he was like jumping in it, and then really enjoyed it. Went again and again. But I'm going to have to get back in with Steve. You've just said that there, and get back into routine. But hopefully it won't do, but if it lights something, then we'll see.
How many have you done? How many sessions?
Oh, I've only done an handful. Literally an handful, yeah. It's but I would it's just, I think it's just the fighter in you, isn't it?
Of course.
But it could end horribly wrong, you know, if you take it.
So from doing it and learning it, coming from boxing your life, what would you say like the main differences are?
It's very hard because it's just something totally new, you know, just being on your back.
What is it? Is it gi-jits or no gi-jits?
No, I was just, listen, I was in my training game, but obviously I would be if I was doing it proper, but I just, you know, you're a bit fascinated with it and sort of how to, but obviously at the time I was boxing, so I couldn't be there a few times a week and stuff like that, but I just believe, you know, if you can get to a decent level, like, listen, I'm 33 now, but if you could get to an half decent level that you stand-up games, like Brendan's your man to ask here, but I mean, could you look after yourself at a decent level? Do you know what
Jimmy
I mean?
Manoa didn't start anything until 28, 29.
Yeah,
listen, 33 is young in MMA. 33, all the champions are old, isn't it?
When did Couture, what did he go on to?
He didn't start
50.
30 or something.
He was 50, so Dan Anderson 50, so fighting Bisping.
The first time it come to the arena. Yes, yeah.
Bisping and Anderson?
No, the first time it come to the arena, it was Randy Couture versus...
Who did he fight?
Do you remember? There was a few... Paul Kelly was on it at Liverpool. I know Terry Ettim, he was on.
Well, yeah.
It was...
203?
Yeah.
Who else fought? Gazzargo did that front kick on Crow Cop. I do remember it.
No, that was the first.
The head
kick, I'm about the second.
Paul
yeah,
Daly.
That was a massive.
Paul Daly on it?
No, I don't think it was. It was.
It's only been here
Crow Cop. Crow Cop got knocked out bad, but that was
with
the
his own
first
kick.
One, so it's the second one. Yeah. And that was a massive shot. I think he'd just come over from, was it Pride? Or
That's right.
Like that? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. It was... so even that night, and I think I've said this to you before, I remember being there, and I thought, oh, they know how to put on a show. Do you know what I mean? I remember Kerry Case, who's been around boxing, around, you know, your Hat and Mayweather fight, stuff like that. And he went, Crowley said, watch how they keep the crowd entertained in between fights. Boxing could learn a lot from it. And but
not many people do that better than Eddie Hearn, though, in between fights.
Bit
He
of
has
Sweet
everyone.
Caroline.
Everyone's steaming for
Well, he's
his
got that
fights as well.
darts thing going
Honestly,
on, hasn't he,
yeah.
about it? The
Yeah.
UFC does put on a fantastic production.
Yeah.
The production's mega. You know that, and that's the benefit that they have of being the big promoter in that pool, don't they?
Yeah,
of being able
of
to
course.
just put all that.
Yeah, but what I didn't like is bringing it over here and making us stay up till 6 in the morning. What's that about? We're all sat through the arena, like, everyone's like falling asleep, and I'm thinking, at least if you're going to bring it in,
give us a little bit,
let them stay up for
That's how you fucking grow it in different countries, is by putting it on at prime time before that.
Ridiculous it was.
They did it with
before 6 in the morning, Bisping. 6.
Yeah, 4 or 5 a.m. for
it was like, what?
Crazy.
Yeah, no, it didn't make sense to me. I didn't like it, to be honest. It was like a bit of a kick in the arse.
Yeah.
Do you want it as the UFC? Well, guess what?
3 in the morning.
Guess what? It starts at
Just
12.
People leaving the arena like,
Yeah.
Rather than going out, just going to bed.
What's out of broad daylight? So I didn't like that. But we don't get it often here, do we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've probably had it here 3 times.
Are your boys doing one in England?
Who?
PFL?
I don't know, mate. They said they're going to start travelling. Ideally, do the MEN. That'd be great. I thought, you've done it a load of times, and there is no feeling like it in the world.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then Mank's going mental. There's just no feeling like it. So hopefully they'll bring it here. Like I say, it is a big step over the pond for them.
What's that? Stop it.
I know.
You're going to get me in trouble.
I've got a man for the undercard here.
What are you weighing at the moment in pounds?
At the minute, honestly, I've
all.
not put much on. I mean, obviously, from like the actual fight, I've probably put £5 or something. It was about 10.
I'll put that on after about a day.
Yeah,
I'll put on some.
but I think, like I just said before, I've probably lost a bit of muscle, so I might be a little bit skinny fat, and there's nothing worse than being skinny fat, Steve.
So, in between boxing now, how big did you used to get in camps? How much was you cutting?
Do you know what, right?
What are you walking around at now at the minute?
So at the minute now, I was like, what was it? So I was 10, 11.
Right.
I was 10, 11. Bear in mind, I used to fight at 9, fight at 9,
Yeah.
not
Can I
walk
see you're still
around
not
at that.
much over at
So
all?
yeah, I could
So that's
still
about
make it.
£150?
Yeah, around that.
What are you doing?
45 I was fighting.
So you're probably 155, 160-ish at the minute.
What are you
more than
joking?
that.
What, 73? About 173, honestly.
But in between
That's been
fights,
a fucking good week, brother.
It has been, trust me. Been a good
Someone
3 weeks.
enjoy Christmas. No, you didn't enjoy Christmas. Obviously, it was in the new year. But it's one of them. I think when you want food, you know what it's like when you're training. I can't imagine what it was like for you in New York, because New York is the worst place in the world.
I'll bring that up in a minute.
The worst place in the world.
Pizza.
For a diet.
Just
It's
stinks.
just every corner. And
Yeah,
it's just
stinks of food.
It's
You're
like
hot dogs, pizzas,
cheesecakes,
really
like
bad.
that in the window,
Waffles.
and when you're craving things.
Craving, twitching.
Yes, cold time of the year. So I imagine you're just going, I'm going to eat this and I'm going to eat that. And then now that I can do that every day,
You're
it's
right.
like, just takes the...
You do 2 weeks of binging.
Your mind plays tricks on you, doesn't it? So.
You're talking about New York, so he's right, yeah. So I'm cutting all this weight, and I'm walking from corner to corner in New York, and I'm with my coach who eats everything.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
oh, this is lovely, this food, you know. I'm like, I said, what's it taste like? And you proper imagining yourself eating.
What can we just like lick it?
Yeah, I'm like,
New
looking at
York's
it.
Just gonna lick it a bit.
a bad place for it. New
And
York's
it just
as bad as
stinks,
anywhere
mate,
in
of
the
food.
world.
Everywhere, every shop you walk past is like a pizza place. Like, just waiting to eat. And then when you do get the chance, like you say, no, I'm trying to put it down. I'm like, oh god, no,
that's enough.
Cutting
That's
the food
enough.
back out. Yeah,
Ringing PFL up like, hiya.
lightweight.
What's that middleweight look
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. Nice. I don't know. There's a big difference in boxing and MMA with weight cutting.
Huge, yeah. That's
Massive.
It's like, obviously, when I spoke to you and you see some of the things on the YouTube, on the documentaries, what's it called, and embedded and stuff like that.
Dino
and you
on
think,
BBC,
oh my
man,
God.
cutting fucking
You
loads,
couldn't,
wasn't
and I believe you couldn't. I don't mean it like that. Like, whereas you helped me out here, like sort of where when you're on the ground, like you want to be big and stuff like that. Whereas when you're thinking I might have 12 threes potentially,
It's true.
it's
Well,
you can't afford to do that weight cut.
percentage of shots you're taking? It's
To the
only
head,
like 80,
exactly.
90% to the head.
And that's
Like
it.
that.
And although, listen, and that's the other thing I think, you get clipped in the small gloves in your game, you're going over. In the gloves, obviously, in boxing are a bit bigger, but obviously it allows you to take more punishment. If that,
And then the standing 10 count as well, you can have quite a few.
Yes, that's it. Exactly. Yeah, you're getting the count and stuff
So
like
yeah,
that.
I think being dehydrated in boxing is a bit more
Well,
dangerous.
Yes.
the thing is with this weight cutting, what happened was the wrestlers in America and Russia and all that, they grew up wrestling and they brought this stupid thing into their sport, which was weight cutting.
Yes,
So what was happening was MMA was getting flooded with these wrestlers who would weigh 9 stone, but the next day they'd weigh 11, and you'd go, hang on a minute. So you kind of had to do it. Because if they take you down and lie on you...
You've got no chance.
How are you getting a 2 stone heavier guy off you? Yes. You're not.
There's the diminishing returns, isn't there, of being
big time
nailed from the weight cut and walking in Frankie Edgar style, fresh. Yeah. A good night's kip and had a pizza.
In the boxing there, they'll have like, I don't know what it is with MMA, you have to explain it, but like, we have targets that we're meant to, you know, check weighs and stuff like that. But so I'll put it out there, and I think the board know it. People fix them where they'll make them that way, then they'll go back up and then they'll do, you know, stuff like that. And then supposedly on the day of the fight, get in trouble for saying this, but on the day of the fight, you're not meant to, on the day of the weigh-in, you're not meant to lose more than a pound or 2. And
fucking hell,
everyone knows.
On the day or the day before?
On the day of the weigh-in, like on the day of the weigh-in, you're only meant to supposedly.
Did they actually enforce that though?
No.
How can you?
Supposedly, but they've got to, exactly, because you don't, unless you're standing with every fighter.
You don't know what he really is.
But there's very few fighters, certainly at championship level, who do that. Do you know what I mean?
What was you cutting on average?
Average.
What would you be the Monday of the fight, the weigh-in's Friday?
Right, on the Monday of the fight.
How many pounds over usually?
It wasn't, to be honest, I'm not just saying that, it was one of the better ones, so it might be about half a stone. Do you know what I mean?
£6 or
something. Yeah, 7, £8 or something.
That's not
then
bad,
even
though.
On the morning sometimes of the weigh-in, you might take off £3 or something like that, but on the morning of the weigh-in, if you woke up £3 over, you'd be
what did I do? I did 14 from the Monday to the...
And that's pretty standard in
that was...
Yeah, there's a lot
people
doing
do
20.
more than that. People
do 20 overnight.
Yeah, people are doing 20 regular.
I seen this kid, Chris Curtis, he was there, he was at my weigh-in. And he goes, this is the night before I'm about to start my cut. He was about to start his. He was happy like this. And he goes, I got 20 to go. And I was like, this is the night before, mate.
Yeah, that's scary,
and he wasn't asked. And he made it the next day, seen him. And I was like, I thought, sound he was. I did my press conference with my guy. I looked at the size of him and I thought, he's not going to make it.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Well, that's sort of mad. That's what you see, I think, in so many... We see it in boxing. We always look how people look the press conference or the day before or whatever, and then you see them the next day.
Yeah, big time.
Even more so in your game. Even more so in your game.
It's the lips, innit?
Well, I'm
cracked and fuck the lips out.
It makes a lot of sense because in ours, potentially, we could go 3 rounds and not take a punch.
Yeah.
We could just come out, take you down and hold you. Yours, you're getting it, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
No matter what.
And people will have the argument that, well, no, it does make it a bit dangerous having them hit that weight for too long, keeping them down at that weight, because no matter what, you know, nearly everyone's doing it, so you can't afford to be fighting at a weight division where you're going to be an absolute dwarf, you know, compared to so many fighters. So they argue like the check weights and stuff like that, but people hit the check weights, but I'm not having this.
So at these check weights, how much are you allowed to be over? Or how's it work?
These are in camp, are they?
In camp. Fight gets sent out, right?
That's good though. It's good stuff.
It is good because it probably does make it a bit safer. But then at the same time, like I'm saying, I'm not having many fighters stick to that. You know,
but I'm telling you, if you did check weights in MMA, right?
It'd be mental.
No, because they'd be coming 3 weeks out and go £30 and look at you like that. And it'd be normal.
Yeah,
but in yours, at least you know exactly. At least you're not 20 over.
And listen, I've seen some pretty bad things, but in the UFC, in MMA, in MMA, that'd be like fucking standard. That happens every night. Like I remember seeing someone once, like say losing a stone. You know, from in the 24 hours from the presser to the weigh-in. And I thought, oh my God, this is tragic. But you're just saying then someone just lost £20 and like losing a stone in the 24 hours is pretty normal, isn't it?
I did £11 for a same day weigh-in.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Yeah, so £11 huge. £11 huge.
Yeah. And this kid as well.
Like fuck on the back of it, like.
Yeah. And that's the other thing as well where.
Yeah. Diminishing returns. That's what we talked about. It definitely has an effect. I've had one bad one a few years ago in Blackpool. And I swear to God, I was asleep, mate, in the back. They had to wake me up to fight. I was like, there's nothing in me. I did it really wrong. What I did is a French guy, I can't remember his name, but he was in Blackpool. But the thing is with it, like, if you stop eating too far out, your body holds on to everything. It's like a mad science. If you stop eating and drinking, your body will go, right, we're not letting anything go. You won't lose weight. The key is to actually eat. The key is to eat all the way up. As mad as it sounds. You want to lose weight, but you've got to eat.
Different arguments about sort of, I'm just talking here, but... Did you see Aldo? Yeah, it's a podcast.
Aldo looked great, didn't it?
Yeah, but did you see it when he was a week out and he was going, all he ate was £2
salad.
Green, salad. But then there was some nutritionist who was like, that is the worst possible thing you could eat because you're not getting, so and they say no bang for your buck because you're not getting much sort of energy from it, and it weighs heavy. And at that point, his body fat's going to be low, if that makes sense. So that's why you'll see now, you'll see a lot of fighters eating the ice cream, eating chocolate, because they think, well, that's you want as little in your body, whereas that fibre, obviously, fiber's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a science in it.
There is mad arguments each way, and everybody's different.
Yeah.
Like I've recently just done a thing with that Revive. I don't know. I know
Yes,
you've
of course, yes, yeah,
Have
yeah.
you done the full DNA thing?
No, not done the full thing, but
wait till you get on that,
I went.
mate.
Listen, I went one the week after my fight. I'd had a heavy night. I thought it's now time to, because I'd seen it with you. I'm actually going to go back soon.
Plugged
but
in.
It's
great,
plugged in and just come back alive. You're like you're walking, dying, and then
shout out to Revive. Big shout.
Yes, yeah. What's that, mate? I'm telling you.
They're good. They're
really
in
good,
Manchester,
really
and they fill it with
St.
all
Anne Square.
hydration and.
Yeah, it's St. Anne Square, isn't it?
Yeah.
Near the old place we used to near Barton Arcade, next to Barton Arcade, and you'll get like your vitamin B12s and stuff like that. And
Vitamin B12 is one of those that's meant to literally just make you fucking feel mint straight
I've
away.
used them
Yeah.
for most of my camps, and I didn't for the last 2, but usually I'll go there, I get a B12.
Yeah.
Does it do anything? I don't know, but in my head it does.
yeah, so
anything
mentally
I can
it ticks a box.
Yeah. Anything if I can do one little thing, because them camps, mate, I'm just like walking around like a zombie. So if I think this might help, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
no
dead
matter
right.
what.
Even if it's mentally like you think it ticks that box and gives you a boost, then it's done its
Yeah,
job.
placebo.
hasn't it?
A lot of it is placebo. With
It's,
that, I think.
it does make
It's
everything.
confidence, isn't it? Then?
Definitely.
Going into the
Yeah.
fight confident, walking into the cage confident, laughing.
That's true.
It
That's
makes
true.
a lot of sense, and not just like for a heavy night out, but obviously when you've had a night, you're dehydrated. It's get there and they sort you out.
And literally feel
Yeah,
walking
instantly.
dead,
you
walk
feel
out
a
better.
lot better.
man's
Trust
that.
me.
Especially
Yeah.
like if you've been on a night out and your body's dehydrated, if you go there, they have a special one for hangovers. And they load it with everything. You're like, nice one, bring it back.
Fucking hell.
So just to touch on another thing, so when you'd have a fight coming up, how long would your camp be, and what would your sessions look like, how many a day and stuff?
It'd vary between 2 and 3 sessions a day. So it was 10 weeks in, and it'd
10 you'd start.
Yeah, it's 10 weeks in, but I was always pretty
in the
much
gym.
ticking over me.
Same.
And then, but I just think it's so important. One thing that Joel said to me when I first went with him, he was like, "You've always got to be 6-round fit." And this was sort of when I went fighting for titles. He said, because then if the call comes at a few weeks' notice, you know you're in a good place. You're in a good place, or when you get notice, you're not just thinking, you're not wasting camp on getting a bit of a fit, you know.
It's true.
And weight-wise is important. Don't be blown up too much, because then it's not becoming sort of, you know, you're not on a Weight Watchers thing where for the first 3 or 4 weeks about taking weight off.
I think Atten probably
Ricky,
didn't help himself.
What
with
happened
that,
there with Ricky, I think, and Ricky's a one-off. And when you're talking about, not even Manchester, but like British, but he's just royalty. Do you know what I mean? No matter what.
He's just not as good. It's the same as what we said about you and Lomachenko, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you got beat off Lomachenko?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He just couldn't beat Mayweather and
Pacquiao,
Pacquiao.
which very few people
mate.
could. Well, no one's ever
those
beat
three
Mayweather,
names
has it?
might be the 3 greatest boxers that I've ever
Yeah,
met.
the three all-time greats. And it's but I think what happened with Ricky was a one-off, and I always say it, just like the fucking time when they say, "Oh, there's only one Ricky Hatton," but it become popular then for fighters to think Ricky Hatton does it, I'll do it.
Oh, it's fucking
And
madness.
it's just it's shortened so many careers because they think it's all right to put on freestone in between fights. But Ricky, I'd say, I remember going back to Kerry, Casey would do his nutrition for a big part of his career, and he'd say for the first 4 weeks it was just about me getting him sort of in a place where he could start camp. Do you know what I
Just
mean?
doing that fucking bar for fucking
jumping the bar, but
days.
he couldn't jump the bar when he was like,
Yeah, you fucking break your legs, would you? The impact's on your knees, mate. Honestly, that bar bag.
You know yourself, it's a great conditioner, but you can't be doing it when you're carrying that much weight. And I think what happened with Ricky, he made it popular then for fighters to blow up in weight and start rather than looking out. And hopefully now it's sort of dwindling out a little bit now. There's still a few who'll throw on a load of weight, but I think you've got to look after yourself. You've got to be an athlete. Do you know what I mean? That's where like the likes of Mayweather, who looked after himself and stuff like that, you know, your Andre Wards and stuff in the boxing, they last that bit longer. Do you know what I mean?
So how would you free look then? You'd get up in the morning. What sessions? How would you usually go?
It would vary then between, like at some points in my career, we'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, me and Scott Quigg, swimming. Then we'd be back in the gym midday. And then it might be a bit of strength work later on at the night. It'd vary between that. And listen, if we were sparring And I don't get what anyone says, you can't have 3 hard sessions back to back. So when it was 2 sessions, it might have been, you know, sparring or a hard punching session and a hard work on the track. Yoga would get through him.
Fucking hell.
Seen a bit of an
So many
day.
people talking about yoga on here,
mate. Yeah, it's you do yoga?
Oh, fucking hell, mate! I swear by it.
Mate, same,
no, I
same.
swear by it.
Yes,
4
same.
times a week minimum.
It's
in
really,
camp.
and I get it even more so in your game because. And I think I wish I would have started it earlier on in my career.
Me too.
The hot yoga, is it the hot
Well,
yoga?
you know what? My coach is a yoga teacher, and he has been from day one.
Right.
And for years, please, when start the show, I said, "Oh, what about punching and kicking? That's all I want to do,
mate,
like a knob." Now, I swear by it, mate. It sets my mind right, gets my body
you come
right.
out of it and you do it. It puts you in a good place. I think it helps them thinking, "Man, I've just done that, feeling great." It helps with the diet and stuff.
Massive,
like that,
everything.
Yeah.
No, there's not enough. But I sit on this podcast all the time and go, well, yoga, look like a weirdo now.
No,
I'm glad you're backing
mate,
it up.
I swear by it. Honestly, I swear by it. And even now, like, I'm working with fighters. I'll send them yoga a few times a week. And one of the lads is terrible at it, but I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You'll start... Cause for years when I've done it, I hated it.
How long you done it?
I hated it. I've done it on and off for like... about 5 years. Do you know what I mean? And I believe it helps with injuries.
Which one do you go?
So, do you remember when everyone done Bikram?
Yeah.
And then it's sort of hot yoga.
There's a big difference, so...
I'm going to go to Carl's place. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Jones.
Get to his place, yeah.
Top place.
Carl Jones' place. I'm going to start back there, but obviously I was in town for that. But I'm going to get in Carl's place and you just feel great. Honest to God, I'm not just saying it. I'm selling it to stay here. Right? But you come out. I'm not saying you come out of yoga thinking, oh, I'm going to be vegan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But you feel great. You feel great.
What, it did turn you vegan?
It didn't. But once, no, honestly, once I went in and like it was a new fan, and it's wrong, and I agree with him here.
Go on.
I've gone in with my Canada Goose coat on. Oh my God, the looks I was getting.
Yoga?
But I didn't know the story behind it, and like I could see it, and like, because obviously there's a lot of vegans who do yoga. But it's wrong how they I'm gonna open it. Nah, it's how they like. So I got told like why they're against it, the rights and stuff like that, and they don't. It's not nice what they do. It's not nice what they do. So obviously I never wore my Canada Goose coat again for certainly not for yoga. But
thanks for warning me.
Yeah,
Don't do
never.
that,
yeah, keep your heads up. Like heads up there. Yeah, don't wear your Canada Goose coat there.
Going yoga.
But I agree why now. I found out why.
Yeah, it's not good. I've seen
it's
some
not
of the
nice
pictures
what
of the
they
shit
do.
they do
It's
to
not
get
nice
to-
what they
yeah.
do. But I didn't know that at the time.
You still wear a Canada Goose coat?
Nope, I'm not worried. No, I'm not worried.
So how's life after fighting now? You
Right,
touched on it before.
Yeah, so
You're busier now than when you was
yeah,
fighting?
honestly, I'm mad like today. I've been helping Joe out a bit. Obviously, he's got a busy time coming up in March. There's a few of the fighters on. We've got Sam Hyden on Sunday, but with just giving him, it's an extra set of hands around the gym. Been training 2 of my fighters myself, Jake James, Dylan Evans. Dill's out in March. Jake's out in March. Both are out in March. So, and then with my amateur club, I'm busy with them. The bits of Punditry, the bit for Sky, bits for BT. And I've started doing a little bit in the schools as well. Yeah. So I proper enjoy that. I've just been at my old school today and you're not really meant to say the naughty kids, but the kids who are at risk of exclusion, sort of away from normal class and working with them. I'm just doing a little bit of boxing with them for an hour or 2 a week.
There at school and you can bring in fucking Anthony
Yeah,
Crolla
no,
to
but
come and talk to you.
I love it with them, honestly. And like some of the kids, they've come from really tough backgrounds. And listen, I'm not going. There is a bit of a wage in it, but I've always wanted to get into it. Like it's proper rewarding, and now I'm just enjoying that more and more. I've just got to sort of work out what I do. I think at the minute Joe's busy, so I'm in helping him out and stuff like that.
I was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I've got a mad story to tell you about one of these kids, right? So I was teaching these naughty kids like yourself. We're about 5 or 6 weeks in the session, so once a week. I won't say his name, but he's come in, this kid anyway, and he's just, when you see someone with raw natural ability, and I mean raw natural ability, I was like to him, listen, start coming to me proper classes, like, 'cause this is just for them lads. And he did, started coming religious. I didn't know he was getting 3 buses to get there. He's from right on the other side. But it gets madder, this story. So anyway, this kid's literally still to this day. I've taught a lot of people over the time, and this kid was the best natural ability I've ever seen, still to this day. And anyway, I got him a fight. I remember telling him, look, I've got you a fight now.
Was it like an interclub?
No, it was like a fight at the Midland Hotel, MMA show. He was 17.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, he was mustard. Anyway, he had this show. He's gone in. He's like, oh, I'm dead nervous and all that. And I went, don't worry, you'll be sound, mate. Honestly, I really believe in you and all that. He's brought his little mate with him. And bearing in mind, bless him, yeah, it was a black tie event, so I said to them both, yeah, bring your suit for after. You know what I mean? What they turned up in, mate. I don't know where they got it from. Right, wherever they got it from, I don't know. But take it back. Anyway, so he's had his fight. He's won the fight easily.
Yeah.
Twisted the kid up to death, mate, in about a minute. Anyway, after, he's gone like that. Bearing in mind, he's just won his first fight, MMA. He picked up this glass, yeah. We were in the back of the Midland Hotel. And he goes, wow. He's going, look at that. I'm going, what? He's going, look at this glass. Like it was like a fancy glass. And I went, yeah, it's a glass. He went, do you think I can have this? And it really brought it to her. Like, how poor is this kid really? Do you know what I mean? I thought, how hard has this kid really got it home? He was fascinated.
Yeah, by a glass.
Fucking glass.
And I'll never ever forget that, mate. When I see it that day. Don't know if he's still training. He rings me once every year, probably now. How you doing, coach? All that. But that's another kid that I'll be getting back in touch with very shortly.
Yeah.
I was teaching like yourself, and you're selfish when you're still fighting.
Of course,
you can't commit to it.
You have to be. Yeah. It's like you don't realise, do you? You know, like everything has to take a back step. Like times with relationships break down.
Big
you
time.
see it so many times in, like you say, your boxing, your MMA. Your friend, you've got to have a good set of friends. Like I believe, and I know you'd be the same. Where if I was going out too much, my mates would be like, nah, I've got it where, but then there's not everyone who's that
we're about a week away from having that chat.
Yeah.
A couple of days Steve's already looking at me funny, mate.
Yeah, thinking, no, but you know what I mean? And you need that, and you have got to be selfish. And I was one of them where I've always helped out at my old amateur club, and sometimes, but then you start thinking, oh, I'm letting people down.
Yeah.
You're walking into the gym, you're absolutely
Not
knackered.
good.
You're giving advice out, and you're thinking,
I had it for 4 years. A gym, I was cornering people and fighting on the same night. Imagine that.
Mad.
And it was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, and it got to a level where I had to just go, you know what, guys, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
And since then, my career took off.
Yeah, exactly. And that was it. Sort of like, the last few years, I've been in world title fights. I've been in the gym with the amateurs and stuff like that. Absolutely knackered. But you just didn't want to let them down.
And recovery is such a massive, underestimated part of it, isn't it? Literally just going on for a fucking nap.
I don't know about you, mate, but I can't do anything in between. When I'm in camp, forget about doing anything. I can't leave the house. I'm gym back.
Mate, I wish I should have been a bit more like that. And Joe used to go on at me and give it me. And he was right. But I'd be all like, I'd commit to something and I didn't want to let people down. And I should have been a bit more selfish. I mean, listen, if you ask my family, they'd probably say, you was selfish. But it's like there's a lot of other things where I didn't want to let people down or turn up to such a thing, or because you give your word to it, you don't want to go back on it.
Listen, I felt it massively. What you were saying before, missing weddings, missing Christmas, missing this,
birthdays,
lost pure birds over the years, lost literally everything, mate. And it's like people don't understand how selfish.
Are we going out tonight?
Massage, no,
it's a big thing.
The mates are all going out, and then and it's not just that, and it's like, and it sounds selfish, this, but. We're lads at the end of the day, out we're lads, and you come out and you think, oh, I'll take my missus out, like, I'll do that, but then I'll go out with the lads and stuff, and I want to go out with the lads again, and then that's when it starts, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But
you have to be selfish, mate.
You do get it. It's very brutal on that side of things. I've seen it with and coaches as well, whereas that's what, you work so hard for years, and that sort of, I'm guessing with you, Ben, like you'll go out and you'll probably go into a bit of coaching yourself, but you think you're in the gym more than ever. If you start taking on fighters, and that's what I've just got to be careful with.
Have you enjoyed your victory, kid?
Listen.
Are we going to get the fucking PG version of what's just happened? The actual version of what's just happened?
I did 4 months straight, 3 fights back to back. In that gym 3 times a day, Christmas Day, watching everyone else eat Christmas dinner, same thing. We've done it loads of time. Getting to New York, smelling pizza. And you don't understand the torture, the mental torture you have to go through. People don't understand what it's like to lose 2 stone in the space of 8 weeks and then have pizza put in your face. Try that, mate. It's funny. It looks funny, but it ain't funny, mate, when you're starving to death. So, I have had a blowout, Steve, so leave me alone, mate. On me every day.
Let him live.
I'm not on you every day.
I've had a good 2 weeks, mate, Leave me alone.
I'm just going to say, I'm in a WhatsApp group that's fucking hilarious. I'm just going to say that.
But do you know... What do you miss most, man? Is it food? Is it a night
Going out, 100%. Imagine, I was in America, right, in group chats with all my pals back here. The whole time was just partying, and I'm like, look, I'm just in
before, I spoke to you one night, even just before Christmas. I out in tuxedo in a town after we've been to a dinner show after
Yeah,
that done, and you're deep. I imagine as well that week before, that's like one of your last hard sessions. And it was a few days before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, when was the last time you did
Do you know what Dominic
spar?
Cruz as well? He was a little Grinch, mate. Wouldn't even. I was like, can we put a tree up? No. Should we do something? It's Christmas Day. No, mate. We'll just go to the gym and back 3 times. Sounds great.
What we did for Christmas Day, yeah.
Christmas Day 3 times, mate.
When was the last time you did a hard spar?
For what? Since then?
For New Year's Eve.
I usually stop sparring 10 days.
10 days.
10 days about that.
Yeah.
About you?
I wonder that. Sort of I'd say the last hard one would be about 10 days, but with us, Joel's very much like some people will cut it off 2 weeks before and that'd be it. But sort of 5 days before, I was just doing 4 sharp rounds.
Sparring?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and a lot of people disagree with that, but I get it where
match pace.
It's and everything's razor sharp, just to sort of he uses it like that, turning the knob on, not scorching the pan, but just a little blast. Keep
good
it
analogy,
sharp, keep it switched on, and I get it, and I agree.
I usually blow the pads
out.
Big time.
Match pace, I think, is a weird one because unlike most other sports, because it's contact, I think you really struggle with being able to. I think a lot of sparring is useful to know that there's that extra gear that you've got to go through. Because if it's that slow, methodical thing, you jump in there and someone's going to light you up.
Just being sharp, like I say, with pads there.
Yeah.
So you go in there and you know what I mean, you razor sharp, and I think, but then at the same time, you have too much hard sparring, it gets left in the gym. You get in there.
Yeah, that's a bit. I've seen that loads.
I always say doing too much is probably worse than not doing enough. Do you know when you see how people
I agree.
react?
I'd rather go in half hungry and undertrained than overtrained.
Yeah, definitely.
Something I've always been guilty of, Don. I know you have. You've always been guilty of overtraining. I mean, it takes a man that's really, really secure in his own abilities to undertrain.
Yeah.
To be able to take his foot off the gas, you better be confident.
I just fucking seen come out and just saying, I didn't even train for that fight. Was it Conor?
Yeah, against Khabib. Yeah, but they will say that when they lose, don't they?
But
I didn't train.
What the fuck?
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
Yeah, come on.
He might have not been in the right headspace and stuff like that, but to say you didn't train for someone like him,
how do you see this weekend?
I was going to ask you about that.
Go on. What are you thinking? I'll give you my honest opinion.
Right, my opinion is after Corona went on a decent run after Till. Till done a job on him.
He did big time.
And then he won a few fights since, and then he's coming off a few losses. But listen, there's a reason he's been picked, in my opinion. And I see similarities.
It's the same reason I fucking think.
It's he's not going to try and take him down or anything like that, is he? I'd be very surprised if he did. And McGregor, he's brought in his old boxing coach.
Yeah, I noticed that. Do you know him?
Sutcliffe, yeah, I do. I know him. His son, Phil Sutcliffe, one of the most heavy-handed lads I've ever been in with. Really good, but just didn't really get his chances as a professional. But very, very heavy-handed. Even like as an amateur, he was flattening people. Was Phil Sutcliffe, but his dad, he was Conor's amateur coach, and he's been on the pads and stuff like that. Great man, like so many champions over in Ireland. And Conor's good. He's good with his hands, isn't it? And I think I just see him being too sharp and just buzzing. I think he might get him after 2 or 3 rounds. I won't be surprised if he lands something earlier. I know you can go on about the size, but listen, I believe Cowboy's been picked for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's going to run him over. I think there's so many miles on Cowboy.
He's fought. They both fought 55 before, so he's not massively bigger. You know what I mean? He's not massive. They're just two 55ers who don't want to cut weight. That's all they are. Because they've got too much dough now. They're going, I ain't cutting to 45. Think I'm fucking starving to death again when I've got 300 million in the bank? I don't think so.
At 45 again.
Yeah, you'll never see him do that again, which I don't blame him.
No, same. I don't blame him. I just believe sort of 2-3 rounds till
I think first round he'll stop him.
I won't be surprised if
first
sharp,
round.
Something sharp like that and everything explodes again.
Cerrone looks slow on them pads, mate. I watch the build up. You can't always go off fight week pads because people cut him weight and that. But from what I've seen, I thought he looks old. He's got a lot of miles on the clock now. He's been stopped twice.
He's been picked for a reason. And let's say he's lost his last 2.
Stopped as well. There's a difference between losing and getting stopped.
It was a great fight. Fight the night with
Ale Quinter.
Yeah, I think it was. It was a belter, wasn't it?
He just stopped short every time of like title wins and
big fights. He folds. To be fair,
and you know what? You can't. Him getting that big payday. You're happy a guy like him.
Me too.
He's an all-time great.
Listen, like I said, I believe stylistically he's been picked for a reason.
Listen, whenever that phone's rang, Cerrone's answered it. He's fought every single guy. He's got the most UFC wins. And he's an hard man. He's an hard man.
And there's a lot of respect there, I think.
Yeah, there is. And I like it for once.
I do like that. Yeah, exactly, especially for a McGregor thing. I know a lot of it is to sell the fight, but
Cerrone deserves it. He deserves the dough. He deserves his dues. Yeah. He deserved the McGregor fight, but I just see Conor recently looking very sharp, more focused than he's ever been. Well, back to how he used to be, the hungry Conor that came in.
Yeah.
Whether it's a show, we don't know. We'll find out on Saturday. We'll see how sharp he is. But to me, it comes off pretty genuine how sharp, how much he's trained for.
He looks it anyway, doesn't he?
But welterweight is definitely not his weight.
No.
Like when you get him with the Usman and them sort of guys, we're talking about.
Has he just been made?
Leon Edwards and Woodley.
No, that's been made today, yes. So it's...
there's the other one. It was...
Romero.
Adesanya.
Romero and Adesanya. Do you like Romero?
Yeah. No, I like him, but it's...
he's another one, 43 years old, mate. Still main eventing, still in the contention for the title.
Oh, yeah. It's you mentioned then Leon Edwards.
Yeah, great fighter.
Obviously. Yeah, great fighter. Massively underrated.
Yeah, massively gets no love.
Zero hype in UK.
It pisses me off.
Yeah,
Let's get him on here. Let's get him fucking on here.
I know.
Johnny Velocity, who does a lot of the conditioning in our gym and stuff like. He trains and he's been shouting about him to us for ages. And
his brother trains him too.
Yes, Fabian as well. I think they reckon Fabian's probably the more naturally talented.
Yeah, how much that?
But he's with Bellator. Yeah, he's with Bellator. But Leon, I think he's just sort of waiting for that. The fight.
Mate, if he puts Woodley away.
Masvidal, did he?
Yeah, backstage, all that shit.
That'll be a big fight if they could make it.
I think he smokes Woodley, though, now at this stage in his career. Yeah, I do, honestly, mate. He's too well-rounded.
Well, he's very well-rounded.
Very good everywhere.
If he puts Woodley away, that is just basically him just announcing himself.
Oh, mate, he's Woodley away. He's got to be next in line, hasn't he? He's got to be.
He's on an 8-fight win streak, mate. It's tight. Yeah. They're just overlooking.
That's a big fucking win streak.
I like not taking away from Masvidal, but he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights.
Yeah.
And you got a guy here.
It's mad, and mate, you know better than anyone with that. It's a business, isn't it?
Of course it is. They made a title just for the fact that Diaz went. I'm a bad motherfucker, so let's fight for a belt.
If anyone wins that fucking belt, it should have been Cowboy. He's got a bad motherfucker wrench.
I know,
mate. Can I and this isn't in any way disrespect.
No disrespect.
Who you calling out?
No,
fucking hell on.
No.
Jesus Christ. Get Dana on a fucking phone. Hello?
Stop.
Shit, man.
But, do you know those 2 fighters for the bad motherfucker title?
Yeah.
Right. Are they elite fighters?
No.
Elite. They're not, are they?
I think Masvidal's a level
of... No, Masvidal's elite, though, to be fair.
Coming off, obviously, he had the great win against
Ben Askren, flying knee.
Yeah, so now he's probably classing that. But do you know why I was asking this?
Go on, why?
I was watching that, Game Changers, which we've all watched about, and it's, it's saying Nate Diaz, this and that, but when you look at Nate's record, is he an elite? He's an unbelievably hard man, but it's very ordinary record, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
They knew they had 2 guys that were going to slug it in the middle of the cage.
Yes, that's it.
And they knew that's what was going to happen.
It was business,
and they were like, we can make a few quid off this.
Yeah,
let's make a belt.
That's what they've done.
And they made a few quid. But is it right or is it not?
Yeah.
What do you think?
But it's... No, it's
WWE shit, innit?
Yeah, of course it is.
The Rock giving the belt.
Yeah, of course it is.
Donald Trump sat cage side.
It's great business, but
can't write it, can you?
I don't know. Are they 2 elite fighters? That's what.
They're definitely.
Masvidal is the form is in. You've got to say,
Diaz has lost a hell of a lot of UFC fights.
That's what I mean.
So when we're talking ordinary fighters,
no, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, and I think obviously
it was just perfect foil for McGregor at the time, wasn't it? It was a great matchup for him.
Yeah, them 2 fights are
legendary.
Brilliant. Pure boxing fundamentals.
Yeah,
Nate's got him.
Yeah. What do you rate of him at hands in MMA in general?
Just in general,
because I have a lot of boxers that I train with, and they think they're like, "Wow, you guys have got really bad hands."
Yeah, with some of them, it's like with Diaz, he was known to have decent hands, wasn't he? But
he was
I see some of it.
I know.
And I've saw pad work with him, and I'm thinking, wow, it's mad. And it's like the thing of McGregor now saying, winning a boxing world title. It's just, it doesn't really mean, he can't really mean it. Do you know what I mean? Because no, he can't. He can't stay.
Whether or not he actually gets one, but I think he might mean it.
Right, listen to these 2 matchups that I hear that have been made. Khabib and Mayweather, what's the point?
Yeah, it's
and Pacquiao and Mayweather and McGregor, what's the point?
It's just... It's
Can you see either of them
Conor's got good hands, hasn't he? He's got very good hands, and he looks like... And you could see, he'd win fights, but he wouldn't...
He won't win fights as a
Could he trouble Pacquiao?
No.
Never in a million years. Like, he
Well,
couldn't win a
depends how
British
old
title, and
Pacquiao
that's
is
not
when
me
he gets
being...
it.
No, I know.
It's not... Winning the British titles are huge
heavy.
achievement, and there's not a chance on this earth he would win a British title, do you know what I mean? It's...
No, listen. What about Khabib and Mayweather? Forget that. That's the most ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
He's not if he was a striker,
you know,
if it was someone that had good striking, you'd be
it was like, do you know, like, someone said it when, you know, the McGregor Mayweather thing, and I remember the odds, and I'm not like a big betting man, but I remember winning a lot for that fight. and I remember thinking it was Mayweather was almost evens.
Oh, you're joking.
To win by KO. And I know it went on a bit late, but he carried him. Listen, he carried him.
Do you think?
And I
was it a setup?
Oh, mate, without 100%.
Do you think?
Without
because
a
I
doubt.
can't be.
Can we say allegedly? Can we say allegedly before you get in trouble?
But mate, yeah, allegedly, right? But but you're watching that, and how Mayweather fought him. Mayweather, did you see the thing when Mayweather last Christmas fought the guy over Japanese?
Yeah. Where he just went like that.
He just went walk forward. No. Mayweather with any decent fight would never dream of fighting like, and that's what he done when McGregor just walked him down. It was like,
so he's carrying him there.
Winning an experience with Mayweather. That's what. Oh, he 100% carried him. No one. It's not
that
being disrespectful,
like
but that's what it was like. He'd won a competition to
get knocked out.
And it's just
because I couldn't work out when I was watching it. Is he holding him here, or is McGregor giving him an hard time?
No,
I
without
think
a shadow
McGregor
of a
landed
doubt.
a couple of punches that surprised him. But
Where he fought. Not like the
on
power or anything like that, but it was just, it was mad. You know, as you was watching it, and someone put, never ever again will this happen. One of the greatest of all time will be Evans to beat an unboxed lad.
Wow.
Evans. And that's how, you know, when you think of it like that,
What
you
the
think. So he was almost Evans.
Isn't a total amateur in striking, though.
No.
He is.
Yeah, but
he
don't
is an
matter.
elite striker.
Does not matter.
3-minute rounds, like, don't get, he can't do anything else. Do you know what I mean? He can't use his elbows.
There was all sorts of mad penalties in the thing, wasn't it? Like if he leg kicked him or something like that.
It was just
like, because I was like, what if he even like feints one just to shoot him up a little bit?
McGregor was that much of a businessman. I remember being at Event City.
Yeah.
I remember being at Event City, and he's talking, and he's a brilliant talker, and he's a brilliant talker. And the Mayweather fight's getting mentioned just before it's like getting signed and that. And I was at the tour in London.
Yeah. I was.
And you were there? Yeah, I've seen you, didn't I? Of course, I'm miles away there, yeah.
Same.
And you know, he's that good of a talker. And on this night at Event City, and I thought, do you know
can he do it?
Just land? And I had to slap myself just for a split second. And I thought, what an idiot. What an idiot. What's just gone through my brain? Because
he convinced me for a bit, honestly, mate. I was like,
he's a brilliant talker.
Left hand's powerful, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can't say, look, there's a 1,000,000% certainty that he's going to completely flatline him, because there is always a chance. There's always a chance.
What if he'd have done him in that uppercut? What would have happened, mate, to the whole world?
The whole place just goes silent.
No,
but it was a risk. I mean, it was a small risk, but it was a risk. It was
300 million, I'm taking the risk, mate.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? But I'm like saying now with that, Pacquiao.
Khabib's a joke, though.
It's mental.
Because here's his argument: I dropped McGregor and you didn't. This is the shitey
no
talk.
Threat of
it's
fucking
stupid.
Mayweather taking him down in a boxing match.
Exactly.
That's why you dropped it.
That's his argument.
Because he's shitting it from the takedown.
It's the most ridiculous fight ever.
That
I'll watch it. Everyone will watch it. But
Not
what is the point,
fucking
mate?
Thunderlips and Rocky Balboa.
Yeah,
it's an absolute piss take.
It is, though, isn't it? Come on, imagine how easy that is. The easiest. He's thinking, right.
Floyd's like, what? Come out of retirement? How much payment? 100 mil again. I think that's his.
It was like that. Like I said, it was when he fought that. But I mean, at least he was. What was it? What was it called? That where he fought in Japan.
Exhibition.
Yeah, it was an exhibition.
It wasn't Rising, was it? Was it
Rising? That's it.
Rising,
It was. I was going to say something like that. Yeah, it was. And I remember him, and it was painful to watch. It was like it was over inside the round. He got paid however many million, and you thought that's just legalised bullying.
Well, my mate fought on that card, Darren Caldwell.
Yeah.
He was the co-main event. He said, mate, he came in 10 minutes before the fight.
Yeah, you
did it and flew off in his jet straight away. Took his dough and got off, mate.
It's proper naughty.
He's just, mate, he's looking at it now, right? He's thinking, he's in his 40s. They're going, right, do you want to rematch Canelo Alvarez? And you get X amount. Oh, you can have the same to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov, who's never had a boxing match. I know what I'm doing at his age. I'm taking.
Do you know what's mental? Like, honestly, you know, if this fight happens, that you will have like some absolute lunatic saying some. Do you know?
Probably Russian.
Yeah, who should be. And if you say it, you should just be locked away. Like the same with the McGregor thing. might catch him, you know.
He caught McGregor. He's going to catch.
What if Canelo caught him? What if, do you know,
Jeez.
Sugar Shane Mosley got? What if this and what?
But that's the difference. They're not fighting him deep in his 40s.
Yes, exactly. No.
Khabib, wait, whoa.
No, let's just have 30 seconds convincing Ant. Listen,
convince him then.
Khabib's an athlete. He's a much bigger human. Like, he's got that confidence.
It will not happen. It would never, ever in a million years. Like I said, I remember being at that thing at Event City and McGregor speaking, and I thought, and I stopped myself.
The difference between McGregor and Khabib is McGregor is a striker.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think he was a lot bigger than him. I thought he was going to be bigger than he was. But
He's hit a lot of people in MMA and put them to kip, and everyone believed it from that. But MMA and boxing, I will tell you, is absolutely ridiculously different. I was like,
different.
For example, when I went wild card and I was sparring over there.
Yeah.
And then Freddie's come up to me and said, listen, mate, you've done all right in here because we have MMA fighters in here come in and just get flattened.
Yes.
And then that's why I was saying a lot of boxing guys like yourself and Freddie and all them, like, they go, they look at the hands in MMA, mate, and they see Diaz doing this. Winging and going, and they go, he's a great boxer. And it's like, but they said he used to spar Andre Ward and that.
I've heard that, and I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it. That for me, Andre Ward's he's the most underrated fighter, one of the most underrated fighters in history. I'll go like that far. I just cannot see it. I couldn't believe it.
And then Andre Ward comes on embedded and that going, he's giving me hard rounds and this and that. I'm thinking, this can't be right.
Does it?
Because I've sparred hard boxers and it's not an easy time, mate.
Tyson and Wilder going.
I mean, for one, you can never ever count that Wilder out. Do you know, just the power he carries is scary. He's one of the biggest punchers of all time. I don't think I'm over it. Yeah, like with that Ortiz, he got peppered
and then bang,
and one fight and it landed, and it was just like a building coming down. Do you know? Listen, I think Tyson, you've got to make him favourite from the first fight, and if that's the prediction, I think Tyson wins points. I know Tyson's saying, I want to knock him out and this and that, but that's Tyson.
What's Tyson doing different in this camp then, do you think?
No,
in the
camp.
Yeah.
In the camp.
Does he come in a bit lighter? Does he come in a bit faster?
I think he's going to go with the exact same
sort
of strategy.
How did he get up, mate?
Time. Mate, no one will know.
That was pure Undertaker
shit. You know what's
shit.
Mad?
Can we all have a little minute?
Tyson is mad, and I think did he play on that? Do you know for that to happen? But
he can't have been thinking.
If he did,
straight.
do you know what was crazy?
Clean, even in a slow motion.
But do you know what was crazy? Like, you know, if the referee instantly would have gone, that's it, because he looked out. If you couldn't have said anything. Do you know what I mean? So if he knew what he was doing, it was even more crazy. Do you know what I mean? It was just got up, didn't it? And it was, it was insane. But I don't. I believe. Listen, he might go down again, but I think he'll get up. But with that Wilder, he's got that one punch power. If he catches you clean, he's capable of.
What about his boxing technique?
Out. Oh, he's wild. He's wild.
Isn't it mad?
He's Nate Diaz like. They come from the floor. They come from the floor. But I think he's got that, and it's always dangerous. But then you could argue from the other side, well, no, you could let the fight pass you by. He knows if he lands
one shot in 12 rounds,
all it takes. Yeah, and he has got scary power, like you say with that Ortiz.
Yeah.
It was. He was getting peppered, and he's class. I know people going about his age. I mean, no one knows actually how old Luis Ortiz is, but he was pinging him for. Do you know what I mean?
He's got a random passport, hasn't he?
One of them 1st of January birthdays.
There's a story, isn't there, where he was helping Lennox Lewis out years ago, and even if he was 18, 19, he's still older than what they said. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's
there's some don't need record the date of birth or something over there in Cuba or something. Yo Romero, they don't know either and all that. It's like,
I mean, you look at Real Romero and you're like, I don't know how old.
No one knows all. He says he's 40 odd, but he might be 20.
He's been around for 30 something years.
I
remember being in Monaco and Ortiz fought over there. It was the most horrible fight ever. I think it was that Malik Scott, and he was there. He was in the airport, and you look there and I thought, whose granddad's come out in a velour?
You're joking.
And I looked, and then I thought,
does he look that old?
Mate, he looks that old, yeah. He looks that old. So.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, that was when Smith fought. That was 2016, so that's 4 years ago. And it was just like seeing you thinking, who's this 60-year-old?
He said post Joshua was like, I just got fat and couldn't be arsed training.
Fair play to you. But speaking of Fury, you and him are probably the only, and Hatton, are the three. So he's going in with Wilder. You've been in there with Lomachenko, and that's what I want to touch on with you. Like, when you fought him, how different is it fighting?
Can we go back
elite?
to what I said to you before you fought him?
Yeah.
So there was rumours at the time, and I saw him. We're doing something for BBC.
Yeah.
I was like, "Can we have a fucking chat?"
Yeah.
Well, I was sat
rumour that
inside
you're
of that
about to
fight.
fight Lomachenko.
Yeah.
I was there. So what's the difference?
Right. Do you know when? And obviously, I seen you a few days before, and I felt in fantastic shape. Felt razor sharp, and do you know, I felt brilliant. And in your head, I don't know whether it's you can't say it's delusion. Well, people say, well, it was delusion. You know, when they watch the fight, but. You train that hard, like you believe in yourself. You think I'm going to shock the world.
You can't fucking step through them ropes. Thinking,
of course, exactly. Yeah, you can't ever go
even
in.
Even if you're deluded, thinking you
like
do it,
genuinely, I was thinking I can't wait for this. You know, before the first bell rang.
Yeah.
That's what you should
but
do.
then, what the difference was, and this isn't. I believe I copped for a pretty ruthless Lomachenko that night. He was thinking, I want to make a statement here. His last fight, he'd not been great. He did it himself. Was it shoulder? It was, but he hurt his hand on my head. It was, and I think he thought, I'm gonna, get this done because I want to be out again. Not long after this, and what he done, and I believe he thought, I'm not hanging around here. And I caught for him, and he was just so sharp, and the distance,
he was just on you.
The distance, yeah. And I, this is my thing where I think. I've always had success, sort of getting in there, looking to push lads back, physically strong, and what I tried to do. And I can't say it was the wrong thing, but I think for a few rounds the plan was to try and box a little bit, get him to overcommit a bit, and then look to exchange with him. Yeah. But from the back, he sort of put me on my heels a bit, and I was still trying to stick to the plan of keeping that distance. And then it was too late by the time I changed it because he just got the measure of me, and the way he judged distance, I'd like to think my defence never really let me down in my career, but he opened me up very quick, and he hit spaces so quick, so well. And it was just the distance of, it was just making you miss, but it'd make you feel threatened. It happened.
Does it all the time, like the twitch, you'd just be there.
Thinking makes you tired, and you're constantly on edge. And it wasn't... Sounds silly. It wasn't the hardest punch I've been in with, but he hits hard enough. As in, like,
relentless.
The shot you don't see coming is the one that put you over. That's certainly what happened with me. It was like when I was on the floor, face first, I knew what shot he'd hit with. I knew how he'd set me up.
Did you?
Mate, yeah, honestly. And I remember, you laugh about it now, but I remember being face first, and I remember thinking, I've got a right silly bastard here. But I couldn't move. And I'm like, the referee's talking, and he sort of turned me over, and it looked a lot worse than it was. You was there. Yeah. And a few of my mates was like, fucking, they was a bit worried for a bit.
It was a fucking face plant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was face planted, but I knew everything that was going on, and then there's a different, like the ref cam. I'm speaking to the ref on that. I'm fine. I'm going, I'm fine. I'm fine, honestly. I'm just, you're my pride to, do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, but I'm on the floor and I'm thinking, I had this feeling where I couldn't really move, but I'm just thinking, right,
but mate,
yeah, do you know what I mean?
I know you're a humble guy and all that, but going and fighting someone like that, you need the biggest set of balls in the world, mate. You went to America and fought arguably one of the best boxers of all time.
Yeah, that's what we're in it for.
And you went out on your shield,
I mean?
mate, and
that's what I can live with that. Do you know what I mean? And I can, like, with the lads and stuff, I'm like, yeah, in whatever, do you know, I can, not proud or got knocked out, because I was gutted after it, do you know what I mean? Because I trained so hard and I wasn't ever in the fight, so your pride's hurt a little bit. But he was that good. He was that good in the sense that he didn't just sort of make you miss, make you pay. He was always 2-3 steps ahead of everything. And Russ Abnerus, he's actually done my hands. He was in Lomachenko's corner. He told me this before it even ever looked like I was fighting him, before I was having eliminators or whatever. And he says, that Lomachenko, I think he'd had a handful of fights. He says, he sees things 3 moves before they happen. I said, I see him setting things up. And that's what he done with me when he knocked me out. And when I was on the floor, I just thought back to that thinking, he like just sort of lured me in. And he'd done it, and I was just thinking, wow.
What sets him apart? Was that good? Is it footwork? Is it shot selection?
His feet's his main thing, yeah. His shot selection is very good.
Because
he does everything brilliant.
What, any 301 as an amateur or something?
Yeah.
Come on, mate.
It's ridiculous. And the one he lost, he avenged after it against an unbelievable fighter.
So when you're watching him and you're coming up to this camp, what are you doing to train for someone like him?
And you're feeling super fit, my weight's good and all that, and I'm thinking,
I'm going to give him it.
Seeing the Pedraza, who's a great fighter, he had a bit of success, sort of making Lomachenko come to him, and I'm thinking, I feel brilliant. I'm going to do the same.
You'd spotted that and gone, I think I can do that.
A bit of an off night, I can do that.
In the armour, like.
And then the time will come where I look to put it on him, and I think, well, I can do, But like I said, that's what I was getting back to before. I think should have looked to put it on him early, but so many have tried that. And it's just
We've
been
seen
Bull Matador, and
that's when you can look fucking silly.
Yeah,
with
that's
him because,
what.
He starts dancing, the hands come down. Now you're in fucking trouble.
I was sparring one of his teammates at Wildcard. He was on his team in Ukraine.
Yeah.
He's the exact same. Southpaw, in and out.
Horrible.
They've got their own way of fighting, mate. And it's like
the dad's played a huge part in it. Papachenko, nice guy as well. And that.
Oh, is it?
He's sort of with Usyk and stuff, and it just shows you a big guy like that, the success he's had, the way he moves his feet. He moves his feet like a middleweight, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Ridiculous, isn't it?
It's but a very very unique bunch of fighters.
Yeah. So it's their own. Like the Cubans have their way, we have ours. Theirs is just. Theirs is the best way, but the bred into it though. It's not really something you can kind of learn.
Like Mayweather gets all the fucking the praise and rightly so for having such a brilliant, that shoulder roll and that fucking defensive technique and just hard to hit. But for me, the most entertaining one, behind Roy Jones and Tyson, is Lomachenko.
What would happen there, Ant, if you fought Mayweather? How would you see that?
At Super Feather, it's obviously they'd have to. It'd be just two masters of defence. It'd be two masters of defence. I think what you've got to.
Loma and
Mayweather. I think at Super Feather, I do. At Super Feather, I do. I think he's fought your likes of your Gary Russell, who's a brilliant fighter, beat him well. I'm not comparing him to Mayweather, but sort of, he's dealt with all styles. I'm not suggesting he's a better all-time great than Mayweather, but at that Super Feather, I'd lean towards Lomachenko. And one thing you've got to remember as well. His second fight he was fighting for a world title.
That is mental.
That's unheard of. He literally wants to fight. He wants to fight anyone.
Drilling people's records and see like what they've fought against. Like he was just straight in there with like 8-1s, 9-0s.
His debut was ridiculous. It's mad. Whereas a lot of the other fighters that was brought along wasn't there. He was in and he was like right. And now he's going to fight Lopez, who's just knocked out Richard Comner.
Right. Okay.
And that was in New York a few weeks before you, I think. And he just wants all the belts, doesn't he? He wants all the belts.
He's going to get all the belts as well.
Yeah, he's and I think the only thing that beats him is chasing greatness, going up in weight. I don't think he should go up in weight again.
Yeah.
However, if you put him against any of the 140 champions, he'd probably start favourite. So. I don't know, do you know what I mean? But I think that's the only kind of thing that.
What did you box him at? What weight?
135 at lightweight,
And he can go up and down, kind of.
Yeah, well, I think lightweight he's saying he's sort of his limit, but I wouldn't be surprised if he sort of.
He's got the style, hasn't he?
Yeah, because he don't get
so in and out.
So he can give away that size.
He can.
That strength and power thing. But if he's not getting it, you don't lose fights, do you? So yeah.
Fucking unbelievable.
So how long are we into it now? You retired?
Retired in November.
Has the fire gone out?
Slippers around the house?
Yes.
Does the fire burn?
Nah, it doesn't. It
doesn't
mate,
at all. Is that the truth?
That's honestly, Brennan. It's the God's honest truth.
Because
people
hit Lomachenko and then we had the last
dance. Do you know what? Yeah,
what?
We had the last dance and listen, I boxed really, really bad that night. And I did, but I was saying to you before, I totally underestimated the emotions of the night and stuff like that. And I honestly believe I could fight tomorrow, and I've punched literally twice, and I'd be much better. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I underestimated all the emotions, but it's just like now, I've been boxing a long time, and probably what's helping is I'm doing so much coaching and stuff, so it's not like I'm missing the buzz of being in the gym and stuff like that. But
that's where people go wrong when they go, "I'm done, see ya."
And then you don't hear from him, and then you come back a few years later. They struggled.
We've seen it all the way through my career as well, guys. Going MMA,
coming back,
Chuck and Tito, and you're like, come
like
on.
that. Do you know, like their last fight? I don't know if I could hardly. I didn't.
How bad was it? What about Hoist Gracie Ken Shamrock fighting it? I was like, wait.
It's
the fight that 1997 wanted. What the fuck are we doing in 2019 with it? Fucking behave yourself.
So it's a scary place to fight.
Like no balance, and I'm thinking whoever let that happen, they weren't locking up. Mate, even the other week, it was sad seeing Rampage Jackson going face first out, and you're going,
see how big he come in.
He just looked massive. Do you know what I mean?
So like you were saying before, you've got good friends around, you've got a good team that say, listen, call it a day.
You can't. I could go in there and listen. I'll start doing bits of punching, but I won't let that fight. Well, I suppose you can't stop it, but I won't let it. I think you should do
like a grappling. Get yourself a couple of belts.
Get in the geek.
Go and do a grappling tournament.
Yeah, honestly, it'll keep it going.
It gives you that edge. Gives you that. Yeah, I just think When you've been getting punched in the head for over 20 years, it takes its toll, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Get a snake pit and go and get your fucking face wrestled off.
Now's the time.
I think you'd enjoy a bit of gi. It's slow. It's not hard on the body, and that's, you can go through belt systems. You know yourself,
your body's in bits, isn't it? Through the camps. It's not even the fights. The camps, the weeks and weeks training 3 times a day. It takes its toll.
Over 20 years. Do you know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah.
That's a grind.
It is. So I'm glad that you're speaking like this because I've met so many people that have retired, and I hope one day I can have this. What you're saying.
Honestly, I've not got it where genuinely, honestly, I do not miss. I've had not even a slight thing, and it's only been a few months. And listen, I think Joe was saying, give it 6 months, and then we're safe and stuff like that. But I just don't think it'll ever come back. And I was telling him,
does Joe think that you're gonna fucking be like, I'm gonna get back in, mate?
No, today I was shadowboxing. I was going, I might come back as a southpaw. And he went, don't say that. Don't say that. And I went, Joe, I'm joking. I said, I'm joking. I said, I'm really not. I couldn't think of anything worse if that makes. But
just keep winding him up.
Go on.
It just doesn't.
Just be like. Them bare knuckle lot get low. Throw that one in next week.
Like, that must be mental. Like, I know I could do something like that.
Yeah.
They give you decent money, and I think,
it's right, don't it? I mean, you were telling me what someone we know got a big
There's so many coming back for that.
It's balmy, isn't it? I'm seeing it all the time, and I'm just like, who in the right mind would do that? It's just like, it's cockfighting, isn't it? It's just horrible. I just like
broke fighters, mate, with nothing left, and they're going, do you want to compare knuckle?
The promoter of one of them, it might be that KBK one, was like, I'm not paying him because he didn't put a show on tonight. Some kid that got tuned up.
Yeah.
So I'm not paying him. Fucking, you need to pay him, mate, because he's got to pay for his face to get re-stitched.
I just think as well, because I'm doing a lot of coaching, what I'd be a bit of an example to them people. I don't want to be, hanging around too long. I've seen it, and you would have seen it in yours. People who are puncher, people who it affects their health. I've got a young boy, and it's like, I want to get out of it with my marbles intact. So I think I have done. Some people disagree, but I think I have done. And that's it, mate. I'll always be involved in the sport, always, but just not back inside those ropes. It's different if, for instance, if I ever needed to help someone out doing a bit of technique, so it's a little bit different. But
very different.
Not. I just don't.
Well, what age did you start boxing?
So I started boxing at age. I mean, I first went into a gym before it, but I remember going into an amateur gym just before my 11th birthday.
There we go.
And so, it stopped just before I was 33.
Yeah.
So it was like 22 years.
Yeah.
22 years of getting punched in the head.
And mate, you've got nothing left to prove. Linares,
when you say there, and then I think
you packed the arena out.
And I'm a realist, as in like, I know I could box so much better than last time, but Lomachenko's not going anywhere. The belts aren't going anywhere, and I think, do I just want to hang around and try and pick up paydays?
Nah.
There's easier ways to earn money. You might not earn as much, but do you know what I mean? And you've got to be sort of content. And I come in the sport to get a world title. And there's my 2 goals that, and to get a house outright, and I've done that and more. And I've got to be happy. Sometimes you can be greedy, and like we're just saying there, like, I know the different sports, but your Rampage Jackson, your Chuck Liddell, it's criminal to see it. Do you know what I mean?
This is where I think promoters have been wrong.
You know what? It's
if you're a promoter and they ring you up and be like, I'm thinking of having a fight.
Chuck Liddell, mate.
Maybe go do a grappling tournament.
What proper? Like someone was saying, who I know they went. I was on about it to him, and they went, do you know what? I seen him at in Vegas. He was signing a few things. He said his balance was all over, and that was about 18 months, 2 years before the fight.
Have you seen Crow Cop?
No,
he's got shakes. He don't look good, man.
And they're getting back in the cage. It is criminal, It's like,
but people are there to buy tickets, buy money, to give them.
They've got the name value, and unfortunately, these promoters are putting big carrots in front of them. They're broke, they're old, and they're going. And not only that, a lot of them are doing it because them big nights at the Emmy and
them
big nights.
You chase those nights, that's it.
And
that's one thing I'll miss.
Yeah.
When there's a show there, March the 7th, and I'll be there, whether it'll be in a corner, whether it'll be something with television or whatever. And I know I'll have, and I'm not sort of afraid to say it, I won't be jealous of the fighters because my mates will be fighting on it, but I'll be jealous it's not me.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Like I'm admitting I'll be there and I'll be jealous thinking.
Well, mate, I think any of us that have not made the same walks that the Perrys have made them. Obviously, you've just done fucking Madison Square Garden.
Yes, that's what I mean, mate. It's if you're ever in New York in the future and you're in there, you're going to be thinking, fucking hell, I fought there. Do you know what? I go to a concert at the arena All I can think of.
I know, mate.
Yeah,
I know.
it's mad, and you'll have, like, for the rest of every time it's on telly now, that's all you'll ever think of, Going every time you nip through there, that side gate.
Boring the piss out of everyone. Every time New York's on telly, be like,
I was telling him when I went in. Did I tell you that last week about the letter?
I
went in. Madison Square Garden, you walk in, you see the fight, name on the change room, you go in there, you got a towel.
Yeah,
the towel. And I've gone
I seen it. I remember when Callum Smith boxed there.
Did he get the same thing?
With the towel and that.
Yeah.
You have fucking Lewis Capaldi playing in the background though, like this wet knob. Nearly fucking bibbing.
Don't laugh. So then, I was going through my playlist and Capaldi's on, and as I'm reading this letter that I've got on Madison Square Garden.
Oh, mate, I would have broke down as well. If that's what you're going to say.
Mate, he goes, congratulations, you're about to fight in the most famous arena on earth. You've now made it. Signed Madison Square Garden. Yeah, and I've gone... Looked at Dom and I went, fucking hell, get me emotional. You play this stupid song.
But it's good you've got someone like that to stop you, do you know? I'm not going, wow. And there you get
not let it take
sometimes you need someone dry to go, fucking get over it or something like that, when you can look back on it now and it's a big thing. But that's what I meant to say, sort of going back to when you said about coming back with it.
Yeah.
When I didn't say it to you last time, did I? I was in two minds what to do. You know, so after LA, the day after, I remember I walked over a coffee with Joe and I was like, do you know, I don't know whether I'll fight again now. Yeah. And I'll go home and I don't want to be sort of fed to anyone or out like that. I'm going to have a good think. And then I was ticking over on the way back and I was going, you know what, I decided I'm going to have one more fight. And then
you said that on the podcast with me.
Yes, so that's when I said that. I said, no, I've decided I'm going to have one more.
Yes,
I'm going to have.
I don't know. I was like, come on. He went, all right.
It's announced, but I'm going to have one more, and I'm like, one more in Manchester. And then I remember, like, I was going to Beaver. It was Mrs. another couple, and you've had a few drinks, and I got the text off Eddie just saying November the 2nd. The eyes emoji. So I was like, yeah, sign me up. I'm there. And then it was bad. Like, maybe Robin and Beef for like, coming back in that airport. Mate, it's like everyone calls it the Burger King of death. Like there's
one
just
big Burger King
there.
that everyone's just
probably having the first meal in 4 days. I'm not exaggerating. Like anyone who's been knows, do you know what I mean? And I'm
really
like,
heavy.
And I wouldn't even like say I was half chilled. Like I'd not gone mad or anything like that. But I felt like them, and I thought, I've agreed to fight.
Am I going to fight? Yeah.
I've agreed to fight. And I had months, I had a few months, notice on that, and I wasn't unfit, but I just thought...
Mate, listen to this. Speaking about a beefer, I had my first, when I did the Ultimate Fighter trials, got through, I was there, and it was last 8, and they said, only 6 can go on the show. We'll let you know in 3 weeks. I'm in camp now, training him. And they rang me and went, listen, you're the second reserve. Second reserve's never made it on our show before, so just get on with your fight single and hopefully you'll make it.
Right.
Anyway, went to B4. No, listen, get better. Gone to B4. I did 7 days in a B4, right? Got back. Still partying when I got home. So anyway, I'm in a travel lodge at the back of town there. Gets a phone call 7 in the morning.
Why you at a travel lodge?
Don't ask any questions, mate. 7 in the morning, I've gone, hang on a minute. Next thing, UFC, listen, one of the guys has been injured. You need to fly out tomorrow morning to Australia and fight.
Wow.
After 10 days on the piss, mate, like that.
Wow.
I went, can I call you back in a minute? I'll never forget it, right? This random person in the hotel room, we wrote name. I made put in the window like that. What a dick. I can't believe it. By the person I know, like, you all right? I can't believe it. I said, I've fucked up a big chance. I can't believe it. And then he rang me coach. I went, you're not going to believe this. He went, I will believe it. Have they rang you? I fucking told you to stay in the gym, did I?
Oh, God.
Anyway, went out and won the fight. Mad, mate. Mad. Mad. Mate. I was massive as well.
You can just imagine that person in the hotel room thinking,
he's not a
get me out
but I tell you the truth. This person had nothing to do with fighting.
I love how you keep saying person.
This mysterious person. You know what they said to me? They went, and they brought me down.
Yeah.
They went, well, you're a fighter, aren't you? That's what you're doing, it.
Yeah.
And I went, you're right, actually. I'm a fighter.
So
it's just a fight, innit?
It takes like, sometimes in life, it takes like an uneducated, not opinion, but like
it's true.
To think, you know what, you have got a point.
Because I'm slamming my head off the window about a fight. She's going, well, are you a fighter? Actually,
It's like a bricky gets phoned up, like, I need to do a wall, and like, oh, fucking wall. We've got to do a wall. Fucking head's gone. Fucking,
Tell you what, though, the 24-hour flight on a fucking... After a bender, mate.
Yeah, I can imagine it wasn't that good.
Knowing you're about to fight in the UFC, and I didn't know who was fighting. I knew it was on this big show. And I knew it was going to be an hard.
How long was it from that phone call to being in there?
About 3 days, 4 days.
Sake.
Landed in the house.
Was there a weight cut? Or?
Yeah, big time. Because I got a phone call then. How big are you? Off one of the coaches over there who I knew. And I went, and he went, but it was nothing to what the other guys were cutting there. I was actually less than Freak Show, Norman Park, 83, 84 key. It was at 70.
Beef might have helped in that sense.
Well, not really, mate, because I was eating everything I could when I got back from
Yeah.
the spot. You know, when you come back, you're like, trying to fucking catch up.
That was my thing, and then I'd come back, so it dawned on me then, so it was like, day one, get back. And I remember just thinking,
I'm a parcel. Yeah, that's what you think.
I was there, and it was at Lomachenko, Campbell, and I've seen a few of the undercard fights. And not in a shithouse way or anything, but you've seen these hard fights on the undercard. And in my head, I thought, I don't know if this is for me anymore. Do you know what I mean? Not like I was ever thinking, I'm going to pull out, but I was thinking, if I wouldn't have sent the text like, I'm in.
How long before did you get the text?
Oh, it was a few months before the fight. Do you know what I mean? So, mate, it was about 10, 11 weeks. So I knew I had.
Listen, we're mental as fighters. We think we need 6 months, but we don't. We're fit in a week.
Because you've always, that's it. You can overdo it sometimes, but it's just.
I understand. I've been there, mate.
And I was over there.
Especially a beef. If you put a beef and fight in the same sentence, mate, forget about it.
Mate, and it was just when I was back, and then I was at that fight ringside, and I just thought, I probably shouldn't have said yeah to that. Do you know what I mean? I probably should.
But any regrets now?
I'll give him a word now.
There's no regrets now, surely.
No regrets whatsoever. I mean, like I said, I would have liked to have boxed a lot better than what I did, but I did. And maybe that gives me, because I didn't box very good at all, that makes it a bit easier to think, well, if you're lucky you got away with it that night. Do you know what I mean? Because if you would have been with someone much more, savvy, you might have come unstuck. So maybe that was a lesson. But nah, that's me. I'm certainly done.
Let's not end it fucking talking about the last fights. Let's talk about winning a fucking world title, our kid.
After your story, mate, your story is very, very unique, and it's mate. For fighters like myself and him and everyone else, we're just massive fans, mate, of what you've come from.
Appreciate it. It's just
to come round and do that, mate. It's like unbelievable.
What
was it like to go from, especially to get your first big break, and then that bullshit to happen to you?
Yeah, it's obviously ridiculous. When that happened, it looked very unlikely I'd ever fight again. Do you know what I mean? But I never.
Tell them.
I'm not just saying it. No, I never ever stopped believing. I never ever stopped believing.
Tell all these lot.
Oh, we don't know.
You're on about.
No, for those who don't know, there's probably people listening thinking he's still going on about that. But for those who don't know,
there probably is. For those who what happened?
For those who don't know,
did lose a foot?
4 or 5 weeks before my first world title fight, pulled up at my house. Next door's alarms going off. And you think, like anything, you just think, when's that going to go off? And I thought, no one's in the house. So I rang him and I said, your alarm's going off, mate. And he says, she's just gone to the gym. I'll send her back now. And I just said, jokingly, I've said, I'll check no one's inside. So I've gone in, put my training stuff in. I'd just been given the night off the track. My track work. I said I was 4 weeks out for a world title fight. I'd been given the night off because I was ahead of schedule. Didn't want to peak too soon. And then put my gym gear in, walked to my back, looked over the garden fence, and I'm looking, thinking, is that a shadow? Or I'm looking, and then someone pops their head out of their patio doors. Obviously, you shout, and get out of the house, and so I've ran through my house to catch him, coming out, and I always think to this day, why didn't I just jump over? Do you know what I mean? But it's because he popped his, ran back in the house, and I thought. So anyway, I've ran round the corner and I've seen him, but there's 2 of them. But I just thought there's not a chance to getting away here. I was a determined, lunatic talking to him, saying, listen, you're not going to get away. We were saving up for a wedding at the time, and I thought they might have money, they might have stuff, And anyway, I'm talking to him, I'm catching him. I'm like, listen, I'm catching you here, just pull up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so ran down at the side of an house, and I cornered them in, and I always say it's like, do you know what? If it's 2 lads, listen, they want the biggest lads in the world. Far from it, but it's hard to walk back with 2 of them, and do you know what I mean? So I just thought, you know what? One of you can go.
I'm keeping one.
You're going to keep. You want us to squeal on your mate, and anything that's gone missing, you're going to get it back. And he's in the corner there, so the one started climbing the garden fence, and just bad luck for me, a concrete slab's loose. Then on the blind side of me, slab comes down, hits me on the head. It's been through down onto my head. And you're just like... And I remember going down on one knee, they're quick, and I remember thinking straight away, I knew... Yeah, I remember thinking, oh my God, he's not just belted me. I knew I'd not been punched or anything like that, do you know what I mean? And I was... Next thing I saw, and then tried to jump up, and I couldn't put any weight on my ankle. And I was giving way, and I was like, what's just gone on? And the guy, the other one, he's halfway over. I've tried grabbing him, but the momentum had took him over, so they've got away. So I'm raging, stumbling back.
Still trying to catch him.
Yeah, and like, so then I'm thinking, I'm just fuming, thinking, they've had me off. And what, I couldn't put any weight on me, so I'm half hopping back, and then the missus, a neighbour there walking up the street, and she, what's happened? Then I've gone, blood, didn't realise at the time, my head's cut wide open. What's going on? I'm going, they just hit me with, they put something over my head. I don't know if it's a slab or something. Anyway, it worked out it was a concrete slab.
Yeah.
But obviously you go to, anyway, went to hospital. They sort of rushed me through, like a few people recognised us in the hospital, and they're like, what are you doing here? What, you know? They sort of rushed me through, and anyway, they put me in this waiting room, and I didn't know, like, but before that, I'm at my house, and my mate's coming to buy tickets off me from World Tag, you know, collecting some of the lads' tickets.
Ever.
And he's saying, he's going, you're not going to be fighting, and I'm going, I'm not sort of, but we're desperate, you think desperate things, don't you? And I'm going to my mate, one of my best pals, I'm going, don't talk stupid. I said, yeah, you know what? I said, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. I had a fractured skull, but I didn't know. I didn't know he had a fractured skull. I went, but the head guard covers that, so it's not going to stop me sparring. He's going, you can't even stand up, your ankles. And I'm going, I know, but I'll swim instead of, or the rower for a week or two. Yeah, it's not ideal. And anyway, I can't think whether to this day or not, he took the tickets or not, or it was just balmy. And so anyway, we got there, and in the hospital, I've been put in this room, and I remember they've given me a brain scan and all that, and I'm thinking, what's up with you? And then the guy come in, the guy, the doctor and that, and he says, you're the boxer, you aren't you? He says, yeah, he said, I said, yeah, boxing. I said, my first world title fight in 4 weeks. I'll never forget, he sort of just looked at me and listen, that won't be happening. And I remember just thinking, my life's over, do you know what I mean? My life's over. I went back. My uncle had took me to hospital because the ambulance couldn't get there quick enough. And I remember he sort of a bit of pride, sort of, I think he knew I was going to burst out crying or something like that. I just went, I'll leave you to it and all that. And I think my missus was there at the time. Broke me heart, and I thought, fucking hell, this is it now. I've got a fractured skull. My ankle's broken in a few places. I'm never... Ever. Yeah, I'm never fighting again. And it was like when I was in the hospital. It was mad. It was on the news because it was, at the time, it was big news, and I didn't really sleep, you know, you're high on painkillers and all that. And anyway, I thought, I'm fed up of hearing this about myself on the telly. So I switched it up a channel, and I was on that. And then, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And then it's gone on, and then it had come on the local.
Facebook, Twitter,
just
everything. Just
my phone's all over, and it was like I didn't know what had happened. So obviously, to go from your career very nearly being over to manage to sort of achieve that dream you set out at the age of 10 years old, you know, it's it made it all the sweeter. Do you know what I mean? It made it all the sweeter. And I think there's a picture when I win the title.
I know exactly what picture you're talking, where Joe's got it. That one.
Yeah, there's that one. No, there's a few. There's one where I've sort of just...
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, it looks like I was crying, and I think I was probably crying. I was screaming joy. There's like so many emotions rolled into one. Do you know what I mean? And you'll know, listen, on that, in sort of the final now, in April, May, you go out there, you do the business, and you think, you know what, all those struggles was worth it. Of course, yeah. There was times when, like, I was in my mum and dad's house, like, in my 20s, living in bump beds.
Yeah, Did you have a job while you was early
but
boxing?
I was like, I didn't, because I could just get by on it, and like, there's a few sponsors, but I wasn't living glamorous. I was in bump beds. And I can say it now, I was embarrassed to death, like, do you know what I mean? I remember years back.
Well, you never did either. You didn't really ever work, did you?
Well, I did the doors for 3 years.
Yeah, you did the doors. That's what I mean.
Fucking hell, I remember you on the doors.
I was doing 9 till 6 in the morning, and then going training.
It's mental, and I remember thinking it was never on. This is not now, I don't live a mad life, but, you know, life's nice, but there was times when, like, fucking hell, I'm there, and there's fucking me, my little brother, fucking dog on the end of the bed in this, and I'm thinking,
how
much can you think? And you question yourself thinking, should I just get a job?
Yeah,
should
you're
I
right.
just get a job?
Right.
And
There's been plenty of times like that.
I don't want to be, but you don't want to be a failure. But you're just thinking, and that makes it. And I'm listen, like I'm not sort of putting it back to you, but when you've sort of achieved what you have, and especially there, I remember seeing that with your ma, where you've paid the house, and I just think, nah, that's what makes it all worth it. All those sacrifices make it worth it. I remember getting my mum and dad some new windows and a new finger, and I was.
There's nothing like it, is there?
And it's not, and there's nothing like it. Like it's just what it meant to my mum. Like she said, "Oh, I'm going to pay," and I went, "Mum, I don't want that." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just, that's what you do it for, and it makes all those sacrifices. At the time, you don't think it, but you think.
Well, I had the same thing as you. She'd be like, "Oh, what's £4 that session?" It'd be one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the way through my career, it'd be like that. Well, I didn't have a job. Do you know what I mean? In the beginning, when I was young, and it was one of them. So for me to get my first paycheck and go, "Yeah, listen,
Mum,
how much is left on the gaff pump done?" That there.
It
I'll
made
die
it
happy
all
now.
worth it. Yes,
no matter what happens tomorrow.
I can't imagine being a fly on the wall in there for that day.
Yeah.
For tomorrow, what matters now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking them to New York, to Madison Square Garden.
And that's the thing, yeah.
Come on, it's.
And that's when, like, it was like when they come out to LA and stuff like that, and like the lads, they had a fucking great time. I'm sure you should see them partying and stuff like that. They went via Vegas as well, so you can imagine. And I'm like, you know, you think, oh, have I let you down?
Nah, they don't give us.
We had the most amazing time. The fight was just a small part of it.
Yeah.
Fucking,
there's only
do you know what I mean?
We've
I had 40 people there fly to New York.
We got over that.
And they loved it.
Yeah, we got over that.
I was with them. I was sat with your pals. Top.
And it's, but they're going, listen, they're proud of you and stuff like that. But you just, it's mad. You take them on that journey, and it means that
you get wrapped up in the results sometimes.
Yeah,
but,
of course
but,
you do.
But what you've got to not get wrapped up in is like what you're doing for the community and bringing your family to so New Year's Eve, New York, Madison Square Garden, and then you're bringing. I had 40 people fly out.
Course,
we're all out together after the fight.
Yeah, after the fight, and you think that's one of the. I bet, mate, that's one of the greatest nights of your life.
It really was. Coming to this new year,
just the finals this New Year's coming.
Yeah, every New Year in Madison Square Garden is the final.
That's where you're going to be next.
Give me
year.
A big check for $1 million, and then they'll be there.
Or what?
Mate, do you know what? I'm bad because I was thinking I'm going to try and do it this year. But I just moved into the house and all that, and that's why I was asking you before about the final day. I really want to.
It's every year.
I wanted to be there. Fucking.
I've got a lot of promises, mate. I'm writing every promise down where you go. I'm coming, and I'm going to be ringing you all going.
There's worse places to spend New Year's as well than New York. Isn't
it was the best.
How many times are you going to say like one of my fucking mates was fighting at Madison Square Garden for $1 million?
Well, when at what point you created people start treating you different? Because I've noticed now after flying back to Manchester, your life changes, doesn't it?
Of course it does, and you sort of it just happened. And to be honest, what I was talking about before, I remember like a few people might not see it now, but might be the best thing that ever happened to you, that because he had a story to go with like what happened and stuff. It was popularity just shot.
Fucking win a song thing, innit?
Yeah, it's mate. It shot through the roof, mate, and it was like shit. Life become very mad then for like from 2014. December 2014 happened. From then onwards, for a good few years, life was just totally crazy. Listen, you always had people who'd recognise you out. It become crazy, and like sort of a bit like, wow, I can't get my head around this. Do you know what I mean? You become a lot more recognisable and stuff like that. But of course you do. You see it, and I think the same would have happened to you. I remember like early on in my career. There's people who didn't think I was going to do out. And do you know what? Fair play to them, you know, but then there was buying tickets at the end and stuff like that. So I think,
great, innit?
Come back, so fair play. It was almost like nice to prove them wrong. And listen, you appreciate the support, but it was like they never thought you was going to get that far, and they treat you a little bit different, if that makes sense, you know what I mean?
No, massively different. I was the same thing in June when we had the contender thing and all that shit went down and it was, now you're not getting it. It was another one I was telling him last week. A lot of people are where's he going to go from here? There was a moment where it could have been, you know what, or it was either that or grab your balls and go for it.
I remember saying to you, where did I see you after it now? And I remember saying, in a weird way, and it worked out.
Big time.
Because of the controversy, if you're not, everyone knows you should have been.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
If you'd have just been signed,
you
wouldn't have got anywhere near the publicity.
Do you know what? Yeah, because exactly that, and it's wrong, but you should have got signed, but because of the controversy around it, everyone was like, "Why is that not fucking?"
But your job now is to go and fucking clean heads off.
Yeah, of course.
Take that fucking $1 million check, and then see what's.
But it was Dom Cruz who got it into perspective for me after it. I'm the coach, and we're leaving the thing. I said, I said, don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anyone. Leave me alone.
I can imagine he's the worst.
And he's like,
peckhead in the world when you don't want to talk.
I swear to you, you don't want to hear it now. It's the best thing that's going to happen to your career,
yeah.
man. How'd you work that out, mate?
And it has been, whereas I obviously, listen, again, I'm just a fan, but I remember saying the same to you. I said, in a weird way, it'll all work out there. And it is. And I remember you saying, nah, it has, he said, because of that. And it's took off. And I think I remember you saying that, Dom said this and that. But sometimes you just don't want to hear it. You just
you don't, mate. You don't. Especially you in the hospital, you're not going to fight. You don't want to speak to no one.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because
it's not ideal.
He's like me. He's a gym rat. He loves it. We love what we do.
I missed it probably. Like when I first went back to the gym and when I was going to spar for the first time.
Wow, I bet that was weird.
I was excited. It sounds stupid. I was looking forward to getting punched in the head again, which sounds stupid. But it was. That only fight life. Say, I was looking forward to getting punched in the head again.
Fucking savage. Right, seeing as though all the fucking questions are asking us, how do you see it going down on Sunday, son?
I'm not going this Sunday. I've not missed Anfield for a while, but I'm not going because we were talking before. My mate Sam Hyde's fighting with Shaw for an English title fight. It's going to be tough, isn't it? It's going to be tough. Yeah. There's no way around it, and it'd mean the fucking absolute world to me if we put an end to their unbeaten run. Listen, I can't start saying, oh, fancy us. I don't, but does form go out the window a little bit in these games? Possibly.
It does, but I think without Pogba, without McTominay, without Rashford
looks...
Oh, Rashford,
it's
not looking good then, is it?
Mate, and it's horrible to say they look very, very good, don't they? And we just want it to
relentless,
end.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
Not lost since last fucking January.
Yep.
Fuck's all that about?
Well, that's a heavy run, that, isn't it?
It's a fucking heavy run. And the only team that stopped them this year from just winning was the draw against them, which we probably
and do you know what? We should have won that as well. That's what the
killer
is as well.
Fuck up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, this is the Fighting Out of Manchester podcast. You can still get it from the usual link on iTunes, but the video side of it is going to be over here on my channel going forward. We've got some fucking outrageous names lined up coming on, so make sure to keep it locked. We're going back to Wednesdays.
Whenever, mate, yeah. You just let me know.
Probably on Wednesdays if you want to come and tune in with us. Every fucker that's fights or likes it in Manchester we'll have on, so come and join us. We are doing a watch along for the UFC 246 on, I guess it's Sunday morning, let's be honest with ourselves.
I'll be staying up with you anyway, good luck with that.
I've got to do that and then watch the match.
6 a.m. Ringwater saying that is ridiculous.
But yeah, we will be covering that, so cheers to Ant.
Thanks for having us, honestly.
I think that was a fucking absolute belter.
It was.
And we'll see you in the next one. Laters.